Hi there, my name's Dave, and this is my third logbook of the Unit 7 Mother Figure. So, the last 2 weeks, the final countdown to our performance, which we've done already, because it's the end of the 2 weeks I do these at. So, obviously, a lot of this brief outline is just going to be me talking about our play, what happened, how well it went, etc, etc. So, let's start. So this is where we really cracked down on everything. We had to learn our lines, know every line, know every movement, know every fart that everyone did on stage at any one point. But yes, so we had to learn everything by this, because if we didn't, we were buggered, to put it bluntly, because there was a few last minute line learning, but not from me because I'm perfect. So yeah, so yeah, there was a lot of line learning from other people, not me. And this, obviously there wasn't a lot of character building at this point. There was a little bit, but not that much, because at this point, if we didn't get in the role, we were never going to get in the role. Let's be honest. Oh, sorry. So yeah. What did we do? We obviously got the set together at this point. It was in the last day of our performance, on the day of our performance even. We got the whole set together, which was very good, if I might say so myself. Not that I put it together, but it was just very good. We have leather. Is it 2-seater? I think it was a 2-seater leather sofa. We had a little coffee table. We had various children's toys and Lego strewn across everywhere. And yeah, it was just it was minimalistic, but it was effective. And that's the thing we were going for. We weren't going for some big ostentatious set with like some massive stuffed bear in the back because there's that partial something. I don't know. We just really went for a minimalistic and simplistic set. So we showed it to a lot of classes, like pretty much every lesson we showed it to a class. That was because we really, like, when you're practicing comedy, you sort of really want an audience, because there's only so many times the teacher can laugh at it before you know they're lying. Because there's points, like, when you show it to an adult, like if you show, say, I don't know, Eddie Murphy's live comedy show, for instance, if you show it to a kid, they're not going to get half the jokes. They're not going to laugh at half the jokes. If you just showed it to that single person, say you'd be a bit, oh, am I funny, am I not? If you showed it to an adult, they get a lot more of the jokes that you're making. And that's really, I think that's more what the script is based around, is that it's based around performing to adults. So obviously, because our target audience is key stage 3, it kind of makes it a bit more difficult. Sorry. Kind of makes it a bit more difficult, because you've got to sort of make the comedy obvious. With adults, you can be a little bit more subtle and get away with it, but with particularly like year 9s, 8s, 7s, and maybe 10s, the subtlety is not going to get you anywhere. You need to be more obvious with your comedy. Although they do get some subtle jokes, I'll give them that. They're not obviously all comedy illiterate. They do get some subtle jokes, but yeah, the majority of them won't. So yeah, that's that. So obviously we performed it, and I mean the one before the performance was my best one, because I didn't mess up. I messed up during the main performance. which was just grand. I missaid a line and it completely threw me. I don't usually get thrown by that. I usually just carry on, but it didn't make sense at that point. Like the mess up was that bad that I thought if I carried on it wouldn't make any sense to anyone. So I tried to improvise a bit and it went horribly wrong. Like to the point where I was going to say, can I start over? But then I thought, no, I can't do that. I can't say, can I start over? Yeah, I carried on basically, and it didn't go well for me. I picked it up, but that bit threw me just a little bit. But yeah, so I was a little bit disheartened about that, because that's something that I don't usually do. I don't usually mess up lines. But yeah. Oh well, 11 then I guess. So, that was pretty much more or less what we did that week, 2 weeks even. So, what were your specific focuses these weeks, and how did you develop them? I think, for once I'm not going to say learning lines, because I actually knew my lines. I think it was more enhancing what we already had, because there was still bits that felt a little bit weak. Like, a lot of the time before these 2 weeks, I had no clue what I was doing with my hands. A lot of times I just started there like, my hands are just, because I've got, I don't know why I like to call it awkward hands. My hands just sort of sit there awkwardly, and if I don't do anything with them, then I don't know, they just look weird to me. But yeah, so I think it was just really figuring out a lot of things that we could be doing while we're not speaking, or while we're speaking, in order to enhance the play. So, what were you pleased with these weeks, and why? So, what was I pleased with these weeks? I was most pleased with the fact that I knew my lines is the main thing, because I don't usually know all of my lines. I know most of them by this point, but yeah, I'm quite pleased I knew most of my lines somehow. But yeah, it's just important to know lines, as I've said earlier in an earlier logbook. If you're not getting the if you're not giving people cues, it's going to be a really bad comedic performance, because cues is massive. As a comedy, I'm sure you've heard, it's all about timing. If you don't have timing, you can't really get anywhere with comedy. That was a great time to get a text. Thank you. So yeah, that's really all about what I was doing. So what do I want to achieve by the end of the next 2 weeks? Soon as there isn't a next 2 weeks for this performance, that's not applicable. And then finally, is there anything else you wish to add? So this is really where we got lights, essentially. We chose a really basic lighting because we didn't want to go for any flash. Obviously, there's not a lot of wiggle room for lights, and because as I said earlier, it's a naturalistic play. So if you muck about with lights, then it becomes unnaturalistic and surreal. So we really want to keep naturalistic. So we just kept lights. It was just simple, blackout and natural. That was really it for lights. But it really did help, surprisingly, because once you've got the focus on you, it feels a lot more, I don't know, it just feels like, because a lot of the time you can sort of block out the audience, and as soon as they're in the dark, it's a lot easier to block them out. Because, particularly with this play, it's kind of hard to say, but you're not direct address to the audience like you would with an unnaturalistic or surreal play. It's because you're directly addressing your other actors. So to a point, you kind of have to pretend like the audience isn't there. Obviously, it's a comedy, so you've got to play the audience a bit. And you've got to hold your lines back a little bit when they laugh, because if you start, because a lot of people don't realise this, but I don't know, it's just something that comes natural to me, but if someone's laughing, or if they're just laughing, I'm not going to speak because they can't hear me. I don't know, it's just something that I do. I've probably done it loads of times now that I've said it comes to me naturally, but I usually don't start going off when people start laughing. But yeah, other than that, we've already talked about sound effects, set and props in the last one. So that is my last logbook. I want to thank you all for watching, and hopefully you're going to watch my next one when it comes around, which we don't know the unit yet because I haven't gone to that year yet. Thank you very much for watching.